You want to know something? I am the Atari Creep. And I bet you with that name, it's safe to assume that I love the Atari. So much that I'm willing to buy anything with the Atari name on it. Providing, of course, it was made for the Atari when the Atari was relevant, so to speak. Not necessarily stuff made by Atari as they stand today. Atari takes up the majority of my collection. It's like any other good parent. If you have multiple children, there's always that one that you favor a little more than others. And for me, it's the Sega Genesis. In fact, at night when the Atari goes to sleep, it tends to go to sleep a little sooner than the Genesis because it's a little older. It has its tuna sandwich for supper and then lays down, usually about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and you don't see him until about 4 in the morning. The time I whisper into the Genesis's ear, "It's okay, you're my favorite." So with that said, you would almost think that now that there may be an equivalent to the NES and SNES Classic Minis in the Sega Genesis realm, that I would be really excited. And I'm generally a positive person. I like to see what happens when it comes out, but I'm also realistic. I can kind of, like you, predict how things are going to go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Chris, the Atari Creep here. How is everyone doing today? This video, because of other videos scheduled and already uploaded and waiting to be made live, will more likely be about 5 to 7 days behind the ball on this particular subject. And it has been weighing in on my mind lately. When I heard that AtGames is going to attempt a Genesis Mini, or as they're calling it, the Mega Drive Mini or something to that effect. I don't even know what the fuck it's called. How bad is that? I was mad about it, I mean, AtGames just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth as far as Genesis products go. But I wanted to talk about it anyway, because at the end of the day, we truly don't know how it's actually going to be. We can predict, and I'm seeing a lot of needless hate out there, and I can totally understand if it's something that you're not into. The Atari box, now dubbed the VCS, and any other things that come out, and people just want to come out and be like, what? Don't waste your money. You're an idiot if you're doing it. It's like, you don't understand, other people have different tastes, and if it makes them happy, it makes them happy. Just let it go, Giving your opinion is not a problem at all. If you don't like the product and you want to come online and say, hey, look, I've played with this thing. I think it's got these flaws, and I think it's a piece of shit. I would recommend not buying it, but I'll leave that up to you kind of situation. I'm okay with that, even if it is in an angry tone. But when something hasn't even come out yet and people are bagging all over it, again, I know we can predict certain things, AtGames has kind of dropped the ball when it comes to the Genesis and in the little realm that they have dove into the Master System. So it's a safe assumption to make. It really is. But at the end of the day, assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups. You know what I'm saying? AtGames has not stepped up their game. They have been making Genesis stuff, Sega products, for God, I don't even know how long. If I look it up, I'll put it here somewhere. But let me readjust this bad boy. There we go. Yeah. I think it's time to get a new tripod for this stupid cell phone. But they've been making these products forever and ever and ever. And if any improvements that they make, it's very minuscule. And in some cases, they've actually gone backwards with the handheld stuff. I remember back, 6 years ago, maybe 7, they came out with this joystick that played Genesis games in an SD slot. I was so excited for it. And then I started seeing reviews, and I was just like, oh my God, this thing's horrible. And most of the time, it's sound and a little bit of lag, Maybe some color palette things, but you can't really... You need to realize it's not running off of the original hardware. You're not putting it into the same TV as the next guy. So colors are going to be different no matter what, even if you have original hardware. There's going to be a varying shift there. And people are generally okay with that. But when it comes to these things, they tend to focus on a little bit more. But for the most part, AtGames just doesn't seem to get it. And I can't fault them 100% on it at all. Okay, maybe I can fault them about 30%, okay? Because if I were a company that wanted to put out a product, I would try to put out the best product I can at the greatest price point possible. I mean, that's generally how it is. You make a nice product that people want to buy, you price it accordingly, and hopefully it sells. And if it does, you produce more. The problem is they keep coming out with crap after crap after crap. Now, I am very, very happy with my Atari Portable, but it's not very hard to emulate Atari, really, you know? The problem here is people keep buying this fucking shit. They keep buying it. And that's why AtGames is just like, well, it's selling. Research, these dickheads in offices, they don't look at quality and all that. They tell a group of people to engineer something and put it together and get it into the stores. And if they start seeing pieces of paper that says, no, we're selling them, they're going to leave it as is. Think of movie producers. Think of every time you watch a behind the scenes of any of your classic favorite movies. There's always that, especially in horror, where they're like, oh, well, we were going to do this and that, but the studio said no. And sometimes you say, wow, that would have made the movie so much better. And then you got the MPAA that's chopping it up. Friday the 13th Part 7 comes to mind. That movie had all of its gore cut out of it. And the director even said, he's like, this is kind of like telling a joke. We're telling the joke, but we're not giving anyone the fucking punchline, you know? It's a musical without the music. And that's kind of how the corporate world, no matter where you are in this world, works. So if you're buying this shit, they're going to keep making it. They may make little improvements here and there. People will come online and say it's crap, but it still sells. Now, there's talks of them making a Genesis or Mega Drive Mini HD in the vein of the success from the Nintendo ones, the NES and SNES Classic Minis. And in theory, that is an amazing idea. And if they actually get together and do this right, I think it can do well, and I think it will do well, and it would be something that I would fork up the 50 to 80 whatever dollars it is to pick one up. And I guarantee it'll be a lot more available than those fucking Nintendo ones were, because Nintendo's a shiesty company that likes to fucking create their own scarcity in hopes that people think, I have to have this. They're not available, you know? But it's safe to assume that it's going to be junk. They've already really done this, again, year after year, with that really ugly little box about this big with the cartridge slot in it. Here's the weird thing. I can go on Craigslist, I can go on OfferUp, I can go on 5 Mile, all of those, even the marketplace on Facebook, and I can find at least 5 of those for sale at a premium, used. And it won't be marketed as an emulation machine. It'll be marked as a classic Sega Genesis. How fucking weird is that? And I know that's the general public, and they're not as immersed into this as we are. They just see something like the cartridges can go in. They see the name Sega on it, and they're like, oh, this must be a Sega Genesis, and not some crappy thing where someone just licensed the name. I am hoping they're not really just trying to use that model and put it in a pretty new shell, but there's probably a good chance that that's exactly what we're going to get. We're probably going to get something very similar to the Genesis HD that we got this past holiday season. That has that fucked up menu and a bunch of shovelware games in it. A handful of good games. But doesn't perform as well as it should. Now, for the average consumer, it's fine. If someone who maybe had a Genesis back when they were in junior high and high school, they don't play games now. That's generally the market for this thing anyway. As I guess they're calling them, the suckers. You know, not the guys who are really into this, not the guys who whisper at night, "You're my favorite," to these consoles. And so they're not really going to know better. They may not. They just want to pop it in there, play a few games, and chances are it gets used for a couple of days, and it gets put in the box, and eventually ends up at a yard sale or even thrown into a bin at your local thrift store, be it Savers, Value Village, Salvation Armies, all those, Goodwill. But with this new one coming out, I want to stay 50-50 on it, only because I'm not a dickhead. Okay, I'm not going to come out and just sit here and say it's a piece of shit. It doesn't exist yet. You can't really say that. You can predict that it's probably not going to be as good judging on the track record. But I'm not going to say it's a piece of shit. I'm going to wait for it to actually come out. Wait for demo units to end up in the hands of the YouTubers that actually, have a subscription base, because no one's going to give me anything. I would hope Hyperkin, with the amount of fucking flack I've been getting for this Retron 77, because I do get a lot of flack for talking positively about it. I would hope they would give me a demo unit. God damn, I bug them all the time about it. But, que sera, I'll buy it just to keep the flow of things going and hope, in hopes that my $40 or $50 contribution tells them partially that it's worth it to continue going and expanding upon the Atari name for convenient consoles for us older fat fucks with no teeth. So, what are your thoughts? I'm pretty sure they're going to be negative. And I'm pretty sure the majority of you folks are going to think how I do. Track record says that it's probably not going to be all that great. It's probably just going to be an updated version of what's already out there, and it's just going to be crap. But people are still going to buy it. Some dickhead with a suit in an office, someone is going to see a piece of paper that says that, and they're not going to change their business model. So, guys, thank you always so much for watching. I know this was more of a ramble. And, well, I mean, I guess that is kind of my thing. I don't really do reviews now, do I? But, yeah, and again, I know this one was a little behind the times, but it's been sitting in my mind. I've been watching all these reviews. I think I saw one positive review. One. John Hancock, I think it was. But for the most part, everyone's just like, fuck this thing. We're not buying it. It's a piece of shit and all this crap. And it's a good chance that they're probably right, but it doesn't exist yet. So let's calm our tits and just relax and see where it goes. Why not have a little bit of excitement, Not get your hopes up and be like, oh, yeah, this may be okay. Again, fooled us. No big deal. And you don't have to put your money into it. I mean, there's going to be plenty of people getting them for free to show them off. And they're, for the most part, going to be honest. So, guys, let me know what you think. Go ahead and leave feedback. Thumbs up. Thumbs down. All feedback's positive. Hey, you know what? I want to talk about thumbs up, thumbs down, all feedback's positive. I'm 100% on the ball with that one. That one, I'm behind 100%. But one of my last videos, I asked a question. And you know what? As soon as I fucking uploaded it, I knew the type of comments I was going to get. It's my Atari versus Nintendo thing. And I got a ton of people schooling me on why Nintendo's more popular. And everyone avoided the question. I just wanted to know if you felt, would you like Atari to be more popular than Nintendo? And I didn't want to hear theories on why it's not. I know why Nintendo's more popular. I know. Atari hasn't had a success since the 2600, for fuck's sakes. With the computer line, kind of an exception, depending on where you are in the world. But it just really blew my mind that I got a lot of comments. Really great comments. I'm not picking on anybody. I even got a positive comment from my only fucking troll. How fucking weird is that? Explaining his opinion instead of telling me to go fuck my mother or something. Which I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I'm almost disappointed in you, buddy. Get back on that video and say, oh, P.S. Go fuck your mother. Because I kind of look forward to your not very clever trolling. But yeah, I guess I had to throw that out there. I mean, the comments were great and they were very well written and they said the truth. And I understood all that going into the video, but everyone avoided the, you know what? I think it would suck if Atari was more popular because it would take forever to get a copy of Combat, I was hoping for those kind of comments or yeah, I would love Atari to be bigger in that kind of realm. Maybe not bigger than Nintendo, but on the same shelf. Let's pretend Nintendo didn't exist. I don't know, whatever. It's a hypothetical thing. It was an idea I thought of, and I knew the comments were going to go astray. And they fucking did, and it just blew my mind. So, guys, let me reiterate. All feedback is positive. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Those comments were great. They just weren't what I was looking for. And until next time, I hope everyone's doing well. Take care.